You there?
He's doing disc raps? I just don't even.
James Allsup.
Been a long time. I think the last time we spoke was on
China number one.
Nationalist Review, I believe.
That's right. No, it's true. It's been a while since we spoke.
Nick, how's it going, man?
Good to talk to you.
Going well, Mr. Ethan Ralph. How's it going with you?
It's going good, man. The Killstream's booming. What can I say?
Yeah, no, I'm here to kill. I heard somebody was talking smack. And I had to get in.
This came up as like a little side issue. You know, we were already streaming about Baked, and then James come on. I actually thought James was kind of talking shit.
Our Syrian Discord got exploded.
Yeah, and then they raided our Discord, so we had to switch to Hangouts. It's been a long night. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, anyway, if you gentlemen, have anything to say to each other, that's kind of why we had you here.
No, well, I just think it's funny how. Well, there's this thing going on between James and Matt. I just think it's funny how James bring up the accusation from back during the split, and I find it comical because right now our lawyers are actually discussing those accusations, and I don't know if we really want to get too much into that, but I believe that our side has yet to hear a response from your side after we cleared all of that up for you, because we sent the necessary documents, DMs, Discord messages, et cetera, which actually prove that your allegations are kind of bullshit. But
really, because we have the, again, and we can't exactly get into the down and dirty specifics here, so to speak, because that is a pending legal matter. But the fact that your sister's docs was on poll back in December is pretty indicative of the fact that that it did not happen as a result of the business split, right?
Yeah, but you see, if you actually looked at the tweets, I didn't actually say that you doxed my sister. What I actually said, and here's,
you were kind of smarmy about it, and you said that it was my buddies, right? The buddies.
Right, that's right. Here's the details, which I think seem to escape you. You're all about meme ideology, but the details, devil's in the details. If you actually looked at what I tweeted, what I tweeted was that my sister had been doxxed, and not only that, but that your buddies on the Discord were asking for information about it, and your moderators allowed it to happen. And actually found out that fat loser Meme Brulee who moderates your Discord, he actually told one of my friends, that he acknowledged that people were talking shit about my family on your server, that people were asking for information about my family on your server, and he ignored it. And he deliberately ignored it because he said it didn't violate the rules. And so
do we have evidence of this?
Let me say one thing. Baked Alaska's talking all this shit. I just want to tell Baked one thing because I know he's listening right now. Dude, we forgot about you about 20 or 30 minutes ago because we got, more interesting shit going on. I know you're dropping diss raps. You're a failed fucking rapper and you're a completely pathetic person. I don't know. I'll go back later and listen to your diss tracks, sir. Put it on SoundCloud. Maybe I'll check it out in the morning.
I really like how the stream started where everybody was just like, we like Baked Alaska, but we think he's making a terrible decision, and this is like, fuck him.
I'm just saying, fuck him. We'll check back in later. We got real shit going on. We're only 700 views ahead of you right now. So anyway, I just want to say that in the super chat. This is the best timeline from you are EVN. Thank you. Go ahead. Now continue. I didn't mean to break that up, but I just wanted to respond to Bake. I know he's dropping hot tracks over there on his stream. So yeah, go ahead.
Well, yeah, but anyway, I think the broader point that we continue to see is, here we are, what is it, 3 months after the split, and we look at the two allegations on either side, and the allegation on your side was Nick is a jerk. Nick is an asshole. He called us gay. He called us fags. And hey, I admit it. I'm a jerk. I call people fags, whatever. My contention was you were not doing your work for the company. And tell me how many full 2-hour episodes with a good co-host have been produced of Nationalist Review since the split? How many episodes of the James Allsup Show for America First Media have been produced? Because I think if you'll find, and I'm sure maybe you'll see a huge surge in traffic after this stream because people will go and look into it, I think you'll find a lot less content has been produced for the company since my departure. But tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm wrong.
Nick, you want to know how many in the last 2 weeks, how many subscribers that I've gained on my YouTube channel. Just
on your personal YouTube channel. So,
which has a reach, by the way, that is what is now 230 times larger than yours.
Which again, it's a nice diversion. But if you'll recall, you worked for a company. You were on a team, which was America First. Okay, I'm sorry, we were owners of a team, America First Media, and you made videos for your own personal channel, for your own personal gain, but not for the company. And we see the behavior continue through today. Hey, look,
hold on a sec. Go ahead.
The thing is,
look, I'm perfectly content with the way things are now, where you do your shows every day, and your shows are really good. I think you do good shows, and that is where you succeed, and that's what you are you excel at. Now, I am better at pre-scripted content, at the video making process, at creating these videos that are 10 to 20 to 15 minutes long, and that have a lot larger reach. And what do we see? Your shows, they get 600, 700 live viewers. That's excellent. Okay, you do very good content that is pro-American, pro-nationalist. We disagree on some points, absolutely, like we disagree on the Syria strike. That's fine. What do? I spend 4 to 5 hours making a video, 3 to 4 videos a week, sometimes 5 videos a week. Like last week, I had 5 videos, and excuse me. And my videos get anywhere from 60 to 80 to 100,000 to 300,000 views. Okay.
Yeah, and that's it's really adorable when you whip out the numbers like that. I would say,
because it indicates reach. And look, Nick, you were better at doing.
I think it indicates that you better do it content.
That's
you make
fine.
this like anti-SJW content. Like if anybody goes on your channel, in order to break a lot. Well, first of all, what was that whole Bitcoin scam about? You're peddling these scams. You're peddling all this.
I'm not peddling these scams.
But buy my Bitcoin,
Nick,
like,
are you mad that I have
advisory stuff. And that's number one.
Mad,
but then number two,
advertise on my show.
Number two is. No, I don't have advertisers. I actually don't have advertisers because I like to have independence and freedom in what I say. But
and so do I.
Look at the videos.
The funny thing is, Nick, my advertisers do not.
Feminists aren't funny. Feminists are fat. I mean, and it's just like embarrassing. And to return to the
what's
point,
embarrassing, Nick, is that you make these points, but you haven't actually watched any of the content. Because if you actually watch the content, what you would realize. No, you obviously don't if you think it's just basic anti-SJW stuff, because if you actually watched it, what you would see is that there is always a deeper message. It is always brought back to
really deep stuff from down.
if you don't want to watch it, that's fine. You don't have to.
That's good.
I don't watch your show. Well, it's fine. You don't want to watch my stuff, that's fine. I don't want to watch your stuff. That's okay too.
Well, I mean, let's just scan through. We have let's see. We have taxpayer-funded obesity boutique. March for our stupidity. Responding to
about the gun control debate. Do you think gun control is a topic not worth discussing? Obviously, you haven't watched these videos, Nick, or otherwise you would see
SJW's shut down school play.
That's a video from a month and a half ago.
To return to the fundamental point here, we can talk about whether your content. Look, I think you're doing a great job. You want to have a lot of subscribers. You want to be a YouTuber, and you want to, make the 10-minute videos about SJWs. Great. God bless you. You're doing very well. But the fundamental contention that caused the company to split, from my end, my beef from the beginning, at the end of the day, had nothing to do with the computer, had nothing to do with changing the title of a video. It had to do with the fact that you simply weren't fulfilling your obligations for the company. And look, again, this is not to, you're probably better at the pre-scripted content that you do. I don't think anybody disputes this. But the point is, you made a commitment to the company by buying in, by joining up with me. And Matt, you made a commitment. I'm going to do this show on Tuesdays and Thursdays, or I'm going to do Nationalist Review at this time on this day. And repeatedly, you were either late for the podcast, or you just no-showed your own show.
That is rich for you to complain about that, Nick.
Your own podcast, you didn't know the name of it, when it would start, until the day before. We did no promotions. And on Monday, when it was supposed to start, you were like, oh, shit, I got a late start. We'll just do it tomorrow. We'll just do it. We'll just release it tomorrow. It's unacceptable. Unacceptable.
It's so rich for you to complain about that. And look, Nick, if you think you are a great business manager and you are, an expert employee manager, you want to work with other people, find a partner, because I guarantee it's going to be very difficult for you to find one at this point, because there are a lot of people, and this is another thing that I did while serving as the company, was acting as the liaison for people who would come to me with complaints. Not Trat Thoughts. Nick, is Lauren Rose your friend? Is
yes.
Facebook your friend?
Yes.
Okay. So then you're obviously not principally opposed to the whole Trat Thought thing.
But you have to understand. There's a big difference.
Stop talking for a second and let's finish fleshing this out.
Go ahead. Let's hear.
I think it's very rich for you to complain about me missing or being late for a few shows when, if you recall, what was it, the entire month of October, I think 3 out of the 4 times you were at least 1 hour late, and I was sitting there with pardon my language, but my dick in my hand for an hour waiting for you to come on and join me for the podcast. So look,
that's simply not true. That is just simply not true. I have the texts from like the last 5 episodes of the show where it was like you were out drinking and you text me at 1 a.m. the night before. Can we just do it at like 5:00 p.m. as opposed to we usually do it at noon? I have the text.
That may have happened once or twice. Yeah, sure.
You want to play Trad Thought Liaison?
The other funny thing is that you act like I just would no show on Tuesday and Thursday. There were some times where I couldn't do the show. This is absolutely true.
You would DM me during my show, which was an hour before yours.
Sure, Nick. I was a full-time college student taking 18 credits my last semester.
Then don't make commitments that don't make commitments that you can't keep. Nobody has a problem with you do a lot, and to not, because we did used to be friends. I want to relate to you on some level here. You were you were pretty incredible in the sense that you were a student, you were doing this YouTube thing, and you took on a company, you had all these you had a relationship, you worked out. I mean, you had stuff going on, essentially. And that's fine. But then you can't go and make commitments when there's money on line. And then here's where it became a problem. It's fine and well, like if you miss 1 or 2, every time that you did it, I was like, that it happens. It's fine. I understand you're busy. But then I go and say, hey, look, I need $500 for this computer. I think it should be a company expense because it's for my show, which has raised the majority
absolutely
of company money through live streams and everything else. And then you and Matt want to make it out like I couldn't afford it, which I totally could have. Like I'm like, oh, please, can I have some of your private money? No, and that was not what happened. So that's where it becomes a problem. Then.
Right, but that's not at all how it happened. At the beginning of the stream, you said it wasn't about the computer. Now, of course, it is about the computer. No, that's not what happened at all.
The computer was the flashpoint for the greater issues.
The messages that were posted after this whole thing went down actually confirmed that. Where we came back the next day, we took a few hours to talk about it. Came back the next day and said, yes, this is a worthwhile expense. And I actually helped you on PC Part Picker. We went through and built a computer that would work and built a computer that would function for streaming. So I was never opposed to it being a company expense either. And so
were you offered to sell me your parts for 95% market value?
There was a graphics card there's a 2-day-old graphics card. But that wasn't the only option.
Computer parts, Goy. I'll sell them to you for just 95% market value. It's the special America First deal, don't you see? I mean, and everybody who knows anything about
being frugal while trying to run a business is so stupid, right? I mean, we're trying to be frugal, save money while running a business.
You sound like a faggot, dude. Shut the fuck up.
Hey, Matt, did you get fired from your parents' credit card company yet?
Yes, I've got fired from all the jobs.
Nice. Then when we're talking about business, how about you stay in your corner and let Nick and I continue our conversation here?
Sure.
All right, let me interject 1 second to be a completely shill bastard and interject with my low IQ super chat interruption. I'm going to read all these and you guys can respond as warranted. Problematic White Knight says James's idea of content is playing video games for 10 hours. Blood Crystal says, thank you for the entertainment. God bless. God bless you as well. Twisted Sprite, who is a dear. I love her. She's great. She said, best kill stream ever. But I miss Nora. I miss Nora too. I love you, Nora, if you ever listen to this. Brosov 8T7 said, lazy, happa, degenerate James getting knifed to death. Problematic White Knight says, James just called Lauren Rose a trad thought, but endorsed crack whore Aaron. Imagine that. Problematic White Knight again said, yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't really think he did, but.
And I didn't call her a trad thought either. No, that was
James. Anyway, James, would you hire me?
One more, and then I just like letting you guys have at it.
James, I need a job, dude. Could you hire me?
Let me give you this last one for
Matt. Do you want to clean my garage for me?
I would love to. How much will you pay?
Wait, one more, and I'll get out of the way and let you guys say whatever.
Great.
Problematic White Knight says Meme Brulee is a stupid fat fuck piece of shit. And then go ahead.
All right. Well, James, I mean, why would you like bring family up? Like that just seems so low.
Low blow, indeed.
Oh, that is rich. Well, it's funny because I will get accused of these things. Like Matt will accuse me of lying about him being a doxer. Nick
and then
will.
So you like talk shit about somebody's family? Like what the fuck is wrong with you, dude?
I'm not going after anybody's family. We're not going after anybody's family. That is of course
like,
what Nick.
It's just really like it's like wrong. Like what the fuck is wrong with you, dude?
Yeah, that's why I haven't targeted anybody's family, Matt.
What?
That's why I haven't targeted anybody's family.
Dude,
Matt.
turn your fucking bass up. I can't hear you.
That's why I haven't targeted anybody's family, dude, Matt.
Are you really like just trying to be a Chinese knockoff of Richard Spencer?
That's a good meme. Actually, that's a hot take.
Yeah.
No, I mean Richard and I aren't we haven't worked together in a while, actually.
I wonder why. Maybe because you're a fucking retard.
I thought Richard was supposed to be the retard, Matt.
No, you're the retard.
Compared to
Richard.
Okay.
You're the retard. You're a Chinese knockoff.
Thank you.
Nobody needs you.
The retard that has graduated college, never been fired from a job, and here I'm getting banned by the guy who can't hold a job for more than 3 months. That is rich.
I get fired from all of my jobs.
I suppose you deserve a point for consistency then.
Yeah, it's pretty consistent. It's better, more consistent than you. You fucking put out content. Like this is why you fucking lost your company because you did like what 3 fucking shows?
No, man, I'm the one that lost my company.
Oh, you're the one that lost the company,
yeah,
right?
I'm the one where I put in like 3 months of work and have nothing to show for it.
Right, because America First is like totally not your label.
No, it's James and Matt on Libsyn. They have I think about 10 episodes of content on. And look, James.
Well, you know why we have 10 episodes. Nick, you know why we have 10 episodes on Libsyn because you stole our Spreaker account. That's
because you want to know why though? You want to know why though? And number one, not confirming or denying any of that, and you accuse me of that. But you want to know why? You want to know why? Because after the split with the company, people say like, "Oh, Nick got fired." Wrong. We were all equal owners, and I still actually own 33% equity. And you, after you and Matt tweeted out, we've decided to move on from Nick Fuentes without having reached an agreement with me. I still own the company. You shut me out from every aspect of it. I mean, de facto, you fired me, which you can't because I'm an owner. So you're in breach of contract.
This is not true, Nick. And
then here's the problem.
We should be letting our lawyers finish this conversation.
Yeah, 100%. But I mean, if you want to get into all of that, then
I think it's better off if we don't.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I wish you good luck, my friend. I wish you good luck. I don't know what you're planning on doing with your lawyers over there. I think it's going to end very badly for you. I would advise you to just give me what I want, and then there won't be a problem.
Spoken like a child.
I'm sorry. Give me what is rightfully mine. And then actually, here's even the most charming thing. One of my fans, great fan, love the guy, solid guy. He was a mutual friend of both of ours. He sent me a Christmas gift, but the P.O. box was in Washington, where you live. And you have seized it. You refuse to send it to me, even though he has pleaded with you. Please, it was a very special gift I wanted to give to Nick, and you've stolen it. Because you refuse to send it to me.
You're being very silly.
But that just goes to illustrate how low you are. It just goes to illustrate how low that you go. That you want to
illustrate that it is an ongoing litigation, Nick. It serves to illustrate that when you're litigating, right, you don't just start mailing people things. You don't start mailing the opposition things.
Right.
It's sitting wrapped. You'll get it back, Nick. You'll get it back. You just gotta be a little bit patient.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens to the guy. I think you ought to be ashamed of yourself. I hope you're really pleased with the choices you've made, the decisions you've made.
I absolutely am, sir.
Matt, by the way. I got to say, Matt's another real winner. Here was a guy who, and this is what really blew me away about the whole thing. I don't know if you know this, but me and Matt go back to childhood days. I know his family. We grew up together. We were in the same Model UN team. I mean, I know this guy like the back of my hand. He forced me out of my own company. His old childhood friend decide with you, who he had never met, never met face to face, never shook your hand. Yeah, it goes to show that you're a couple of rats.
It goes to show that it goes to show that you should really reconsider how you treat people, and especially treat people who you're involved in companies with. Right, when you're dealing with people who you're involved in a business relationship with, sometimes communication is going to be tough. Sometimes communication is going to be difficult. But that doesn't mean you just blow up and start calling names and start freaking out and start demanding things. When you are in a business relationship with people, you're going to have to negotiate. You're going to have tough conversations. And the fact that your childhood friend Matt, would side with me and remain a controlling partner in the business should be indicative to you that you should really consider how you treat people who are your allies, how you treat people who want to be your friends, how you treat people.
What did I do to deserve that, James? Because I called you a fag? Was that it?
No, look, that's
enlighten me. You say the way you treat people. Elaborate on that.
I would encourage everyone to watch the video that I did at the time where we showed some of the DMs. We showed the way you were talking to Matt. We showed the way you were talking to me. It's Nick, you're a very talented content creator. But I found personally that you're very difficult to work with in close proximity, and that is okay.
I'm difficult to work with if you don't do your job. I'm the easiest person in the world to get along with if you do your fucking job, and then when you don't, then you get called a fag. And I think, but maybe I'm out of line. Maybe I was out of line when I called you gay. But I think
I don't care about the names, but I'm just saying the fact that your childhood best friend. Or one of your best friends from childhood would side with someone who they had never met, like you said, is indicative of the atmosphere inside the company. Okay?
Yeah, because I called you a couple of fags. No, I know. I had it coming. I had it all coming. You attempted to steal my brand, and then you didn't do enough work to really make that convincing. No, you stole my property. You stole all kinds of stuff. But you're right.
These are accusations that we should not be making over the internet.
That's the punishment. So,
you view it like everybody's out to get you. Nobody's out to get you.
I don't feel like everybody's out to get me. I think I have a very sober and clear-eyed analysis of what happened, which is you weren't doing your job. I yelled at you and Matt, and then because of that, I was forced out because I yelled at you for not doing your job. But we always start in the middle of the story. Nick is difficult to work with. It went swimmingly for a long time, but then you started missing your shows. You started showing up late. And then we had a problem. So we got to go all the way back to the beginning.
It is funny because you were showing up for shows consistently late earlier in the year.
Twice. Like twice in September when we were first getting started. And you consistently for months and months couldn't get it right. And look.
Couldn't get it right, Nick. I was the one producing the show.
For anybody who's even
producer of the entire program.
For anybody's even confused about it, just take a look at what you've produced for America First Media since the split, and I think it's pretty clear for everybody to see who is in the right and who is in the wrong there. Yeah, for the company that you own, where you say the James Allsup show is Monday through Thursday. Yeah, 8 episodes. Last one's in February. Nationals Review every week. What if you missed like 4? The last one you did it with a friend of yours from the Discord. The one before, you just start streaming stuff from your YouTube channel on there. And you had a real.
We used one show for
you. You had Eli Mosley. That was before
the whole thing happened, Nick. It was before the thing happened. And by the way, you've done interviews with him before in the past as well.
No, I haven't.
You want to talk about consistency and production levels, and that's fine. If you want to manage your own channel, your own brand, your own station, and get on people about being consistent, you have more than enough right to do so. However, you don't have any authority to tell me how I need to be consistent or how I need to do shows. In full disclosure, we did miss a couple shows over the past few months because I was traveling across the country for the month of March at different events. I was at the Identity Europa conference, which went very well. It was a very highly successful conference. We had speeches from Jared Taylor. We had speeches from Sam Dixon. I myself spoke. Patrick Casey spoke at that event. And we used some of those speeches, yes, as content for the show. It's difficult when you're traveling across the country to also set aside, the 8 hours requisite or whatever to do a full prep, to record a show, to produce a show, especially when you don't have the recording equipment mobile. So yeah, we used speeches. I gave a speech at Northwest Forum. I gave a speech at what was it? The IE conference. I am going to be giving another speech here in the next month, and we may use that for an episode. It's fundamentally, at the end of the day, Nick, it's my company, right? And it's my content, my show.
No, I believe we all own a third of the company still.
Why don't you guys ask the chat? If the chat thinks it's Nick's company, press 1. If you think it's James' company, press 2.
Yeah, that can go.
On that note, let me interject with some. I mean, people paid money to get these shots in, so I'll read a few of these.
You're roboting.
Yeah.
Oh, monumentally fucked.
Mr. Roboto.
Okay. All right. Well, go ahead then, and I'll stop.
but no, I mean, look. At the end of the day, it's an internal drama. It's between you and me, and I didn't even want to make it public. But that just goes back to no. Let's go back and let's think about
did the Periscope, Nick? Whomst went ahead and
like I said, let's go back, because if you recall, when we were in the middle of the dispute that lasted about a week, it was me. I received an email, which it was unbeknownst to me because it was 5:00 on a Sunday night. An email was sent to me at some time in the evening on Sunday night, and within 3 minutes of that email being sent, I see on my timeline on Twitter, America First Media is moving on from Nick Fuentes. And I saw that. I said, well, that's news to me, but you and Matt wanted to embarrass. It wasn't enough that you, no, really, because think about it. And before the email that was sent to me was like, well, we could do it this way. We could do it this way. There are a number of options we could go here, but we don't think it's a good idea to work together. And it's like, I would have been fine to handle it behind closed doors. Honestly, I would have been. We didn't talk about it. That was our policy for months, that we didn't talk about internal disputes. A few times, like in the Trad Thought thing, there was like 1 or 2 exchanges, but for the most part, we kept it behind closed doors. But you and Matt then tweeted on the company account that you had fired me when I was an owner. You can't fire me. That's not how that works. It would have been illegal for you to do that. But you make it out like, well, we've taken out the trash. We fired Nick. And I see that on my timeline, and then you cause this to become a big public feud. Of course, I have to respond in public if you tweet something like that out in public. And you guys are saying, well, we tried to handle it very amicably and all this. Yeah, not when you try and make it out like what's happening is
the way you wanted to. Yeah, it wasn't the way that you wanted it to go down. But I think if you recall that week, there was a 4 or 5 day span there with attempts to communicate being made and not responded to.
That's simply, they were all from me to you. Me calling Matt, me leaving voicemails on Matt's messaging machine.
Entirely untrue.
That's just, I have all the records on my telephone.
So do we, and so do our lawyers.
100%. Okay? Yeah, and we'll see what happens. Hiding behind your lawyers. We'll see what happens. We'll see how that
that's called
works
being
out
a
for you,
litigator. That's called not perjuring yourself.
Yeah. No, I think you're hiding.
It's called not committing perjury.
You're coming up with these bullshit defamation charges. Brother, good fucking luck. I really hope hiding behind the lawyers works out for you, my friend. I don't think it'll work, but it's just, I'm not even personally against you, because I don't even see you as somebody with a whole lot of agency. I see you as not even intelligent, like mover or shaker. I see you as a merchant. You sell your STW videos and you want to be famous, and that's about it. And so I don't even have, it's like, I don't even really hate you. I don't even really, Matt it's a little bit different, but with you, I don't even hate you. I don't even think about you because I don't respect you at the end of the day. I don't think you're very intelligent. I don't think you have a lot of agency. And at the end of the day, I think everybody understands that I'm smarter than you. I make better content than you. And we'll see what happens.
Sure.
I wish you the best of luck. But I wish you the best.
And that is why your channel's languishing at what, 12,000, 13,000?
Well, let's look at the Patreon. Why don't we look at your Patreon, which has been collapsing? Tell me, what are your numbers? Actually, let me pull it up right now. I think you're at 39, and then I'm at 230. But hey, no, keep talking about the 200,000 MAGA-peed anti-SJW. You're a real champ, my guy.
Again, I don't think you've watched any of the videos, because if you had, you would see that there is a deeper narrative contained in each one of those videos. And I can go video by video and explain this to you. Sure. For example, the video that I did today about the male feminist apologizing for being male. The end of that video was a defense of identity and a discussion about how you should not feel ashamed of white identity.
Wow.
The Islamophobia being worse than terrorism was again a critique of multiculturalism. The intersectionality video was quite good.
Wow, dude, that's so deep.
Well, you just have terrible judgment, dude. I mean, it's like the few times that you do go off the reservation, you have Chris Cantwell on your channel. I mean, it's the decisions that you make. I just can't make.
That's not an endorsement of views. Nick.
Okay,
certainly you're intelligent.
Sure, big guy,
big intelligent guy like you. Certainly, you know that having a someone on to debate is not a endorsement of their views.
Great optics. You're sitting around with Chris Cantwell. The one time you go off the reservation, you host Chris Cantwell. I mean, it's like, and I had to laugh because I saw these two things like the day before, like literally the day before Eli Mosley's stolen valor scandal. He was on your podcast, like a day before Chris Cantwell starts posting things on Gab where he's like threatening the children at the gun rally. He's on your channel, and I just have to laugh. It's like,
and those people, I won't work with those people
every
again.
time. What's
Nick,
that?
Nobody has ESP. Nobody has the ability to perceive into the future. And when people make mistakes like that, they become persona non grata.
I think I do. I have great intuition. I have great instincts, generally speaking.
Having nobody who wants to work with you is not the same as having good
instincts.
It's
not nobody. I think it's not nobody. I think actually a lot of people want to work with me.
The Youssef kid, right? You got some random college student on your show.
I think it's funny how you picked the one example, because before that I had JF on my show. I was on Warski. I debated AIU. Faith Goldie's a friend. Lauren Rose is a friend. Millennial Matt's a friend. I was on Baked Alaska. So I mean, you could point to, and actually,
your idea of great optics, Nick.
Even the people who think you're, even the people who you like suck up to and you kiss up to, even like Richard Spencer, who it's like, Richard, we have to clear the road because Richard Spencer has to get through it. Do you remember that at Charlottesville? Even him, I saw him at CPAC. We were not having good relations, and we picked it up in 30 seconds, and he told me that he doesn't even like you. He doesn't even like you, you Hoppa Downey, because nobody
likes you. Keep it up, bud. Keep it up. That's fine if Richard doesn't.
We built back
I'm not going to comment on things that you're probably making up. You know, somebody said this about you. You know, it's very high school, Nick.
Oh, really? Because who is coming to me during the Trad Thought thing and saying, Lauren Southern says she's going to unfollow you. Brittany Pettibone is telling me she's very mad at you. You fag, you white knight fag. You are the Trad Thought liaison. I think that's a very good encapsulation of your role. We have Downey, which was a good meme. Chinese knockoff Richard Spencer, I like.
Okay.
And Trad Thought liaison. I think that's a good introduction to the collection. But
yeah, no, keep that up. That is fantastic. Rhetoric there.
You just can't stop getting owned, my friend. You're getting knifed. It's the gloves are off. On Nationalist Review, I wanted to go for the jugular so many times.
You should have.
Making your retarded takes.
I think you should have, because then it would have been much better to look back on when you turned out to be so fantastically wrong, like you have about Syria. Oh, it's a one-time.
Here we go.
One-time MAGA. We're
gonna do that now.
Yeah, we are.
Another diversion, really? Because I think after DACA, it's you who has to be doing the Milky's copy pasta. Tell me, did we give up DACA for the $1.6 billion in border funding, or did it turn out to be a ruse?
Did we hold it?
Trump controls the courts? That's news to me. I didn't know Trump had the constitutional authority to control the courts, even though he rescinded it and is not allowed to be
being held in the courts. So DACA
you're a constitutional expert.
DACA recipients aren't being deported. So
once it gets cleared to the Supreme Court, once it gets cleared to the Supreme Court, no, you know it'll be cleared. We have a majority on the Supreme Court, you dummy. But let's do another bet. How about how much you want to bet? How much you want to bet that when it goes to the Supreme Court, or even if in an appeals court, the decision is that DACA is rescinded? How about we make a bet? You got to come on my channel and recite the Milky's copy pasta if the Supreme Court clears the rescinding of DACA.
We're not doing any copy pastas.
Okay, yeah.
The point stands, and you could try to deflect like that, but the point stands that DACA is not rescinded. DACA remains in place. Illegal aliens who were brought here by their parents are not being deported.
Dude, it's in limbo because of the courts, because of the district court in San Francisco.
Another excuse. Another excuse.
That's how. Do you understand how constitutional government works? They tried to get it cleared, and the Supreme Court said you have to go through the appeals court first.
Trump tried. You know, he didn't succeed, but I guess
here it is with the context denial that shouldn't even be possible. No, of course you're going to divert from where we were at originally, but the context denial by low IQ, by like low IQ black pillars like yourself.
Do you have anything else than anything besides just ad hom?
Yeah, sure. Do you want to talk about Syria? Let's talk about Syria. Okay, how about let's talk about
how attacking Syria benefits American interests in any way.
Great platitudes. So let's talk about the strike, where on Friday people are saying, no, Nick is being awfully quiet, World War III. We start out, and you and your fat friends are saying, oh, we're off the Trump train. We're burning our MAGA hats for the 5th time this month. And then it turns out, what are the details of the strike? Can anybody tell me? We bombed 3 empty buildings in Syria, 0 casualties, one-off strike. So in effect, there were no consequences, that's what was said by the Pentagon. One-off strike meaning, oh, I'm sorry, maybe in another year there'll be another one-off strike on a few more empty buildings. God only knows. But the point.
And how does that benefit American interests? How do these strikes benefit American interests?
Just like I was 100% correct about last year's strike on Syria, this serves to demonstrate that America is credible when they threaten rogue nations who misuse weapons of mass destruction before the summit with North Korea.
Interesting. You're agreeing with the so-called intelligence, the Israeli intelligence, that said that Syria used chemical weapons. Do you have any proof Syria used chemical weapons?
On my own show, I actually said that the chemical weapons were a false flag, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because Trump is he has to use pressure to act no matter what. Because there's a big chemical attack, the neocons are pressuring him, and he actually took the least bad option. Anyways, just like last year, the whole point is to demonstrate strength to North Korea. And you could already see.
Really, you want to attack him? He got pressured into it.
100%.
Right? So when Trump doesn't really want to give amnesty but gets pressured by Congress and he signs off.
Did he give amnesty, James?
No, but when he does.
No, you fucking idiot. He didn't give amnesty.
Nobody attacked Syria. He broke a campaign promise to be an anti-interventionist president.
Yeah. Do you know what he said during the statement when he launched the strike on 3 empty buildings in Syria after he gave the Assad government 5 days warning that the strike was coming? He said, under no circumstances will I allow an indefinite presence in Syria. He
Trump
said we neither can nor
as
will
your boots touch the ground in Damascus, and you would still believe the guy. Trump could whisper in your ear.
Let me know what happens. Don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath, Downey. Don't hold your breath for when there's an invasion in Syria. Just like you shouldn't have held your breath when you said he was going to give amnesty, he was going to give DACA. The fact of the matter is, when it looks bad, it's very easy for people like yourself to say, "Oh, I'm really mad. I'm bringing my MAGA hat." It's a lot more difficult to actually look at what's going on beyond platitudes, beyond grandstanding. And hey, you're in very good company with Mike Cernovich and Alex Jones and the merchants that are getting a lot of engagement off of being really outraged about it. Yeah, the really hot takes about Donald Bush. Yeah, you're in great company with fucking alt-right media.
Are you not supposed to be mad when a significant campaign promise like this is broken? Are you not supposed to be?
Was this promise broken? Really? Tell me, are we at war in Syria right now? Are we going to war against the Assad government? Is that what the Pentagon, the White House, or the DOD has said? Or are all those statements in support of me?
To be at war, it needs to be a declaration of war. You know, we haven't declared war in decades.
No. It's not about a declaration of war. It's, are we actively pursuing regime change in the region, which is still not the official policy of the administration.
We're bombing their military targets.
We bombed 3 empty facilities in a one-off strike, and the last one was last year.
Okay, so we bombed 6 facilities now. We're blowing up airways.
We blew up 1 last year. It was operational within 24 hours of the strike last year.
You know why we only hit 3 buildings this time? It's because 70 out of the 100 missiles were shot down by Russian air defense.
Yeah, well, the numbers are disputed, but all the missiles hit their targets. I don't see how that's really relevant. It wasn't Russian air defense. It was Syrian air defense, dopey. Did you say it was Russian air defense?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of a big difference. you dummy. The Syrians blew those missiles out of the sky, not Russia. If Russia did it, it would have been an act of war. We always go back to the details. This is why you are simply not equipped to understand foreign relations, because you interpret it from the right stuff meme lens of, this sounds really cool. Based Assad, based North Korea, based Russia. Let me tell you something. Russia is a degenerate country. Do you know how many abortions they have in Russia? People who say, you're really on board with all these Russophiles. Yeah, we shouldn't be enemies with Russia, but let's not pretend like Assad, North Korea, and Russia are real winners like you like to make them out. We should be allies with Iran and Syria because they're nationalists. There's a little bit more to international politics than ideology. Sometimes it's about ports, it's about pipelines, it's about airstrips.
Absolutely.
But
it's about protecting Christians, which Assad does well. Damascus celebrating the first Christmas in years in 2016 under Assad's control.
Sure, right? Yeah, and I think that's really
Assad has done a fantastic job protecting the Alawites in Syria. He's done a fantastic job fighting against ISIS, the Islamic State. We can all agree, I think, is a worse outcome in Syria than the Assad regime. I think you should also realize, Nick, that when you're talking about international politics, especially the Middle East, you're talking about the best of a bad situation, right? You're talking about having people in power who are not ideal, right? You're never going to get your ideal guy, but you're going to get the least bad.
Yeah, of
and
course,
Assad is absolutely the least bad option we have in Syria.
And we don't even disagree on that. But of course, you have to resort to these platitudes, which that we both agree on, that Assad protects Christians, that the Middle East, sometimes we have to side with a secular dictator. You have to resort to these talking points, which you probably heard on the right stuff, just like all your memes, which we both agree on because you know nothing about the specifics. You have no original thoughts of your own. Which if you look
keep
at
it up with the ad hominem, but
look at the strike but it's a simple assessment of where you're coming at it from. Which if you look at any of the details from the ground, from the strike, you would understand this could not be anything but a symbolic strike. If he intended to degrade the Assad regime or to pursue regime change, he wouldn't have warned them for 5 days and then struck 3 empty buildings with 100 Tomahawk missiles. That's just to say that would have made any kind of effect. They were celebrating this morning and saying, wow, it had no effect. And actually, the effect of this strike was to rally support for the Syrians around the Assad regime. So the idea that this was a neocon war.
It was 5D chess to get people to back Assad.
Talk about ad hom.
How long until you start talking about the axis of evil, Nick? How long until you start talking about how we need to oppose evil wherever it is said?
Yeah, except I've said explicitly. Except I've said explicitly that the deep state relies on the demonization of actors like Syria and Russia to pursue its interests. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're real intelligent. Can you explain to me what neoconservatism is, please? Can you give me a pretty good definition, or is that another buzzword you heard from the right stuff that you never actually bothered looking into? I bet my money on the latter.
No, neoconservatism is the idea, and when it comes to foreign policy, that America's interests are best served by intervention in foreign countries, specifically intervention on behalf of Israel.
Yeah, okay, that's bullshit. Neoconservatism originated from the old left in the 1960s, who actually originated with Trotskyists, which is very important as to the genesis of the idea, because these were people who were hard on communism, but they were left-wing. And the key point here is that they wanted to spread Western ideas in foreign countries. If you read Krauthammer, if you read Kristol, if you read Pearl, Wolfowitz, Rumsfeld, if you read anything that they were saying, the strategic end to be served in intervention, it wasn't just about intervention, it was about invasion and the imposition of Western and American values. Nothing close to that. Nothing close to that. No, of course not. Nothing close to that is happening with a limited one-off missile strike on 3 empty buildings in Syria. But you wouldn't know that because you don't know anything for yourself. You rely on other people to feed you information that's already been pre-chewed and it's spoon-fed to you like a little baby with Down syndrome. And that's why you cannot decipher what's actually going on in the region. This was not a ground invasion. This is not.
You need to have 200 IQ to understand that attacking foreign regimes is actually in America's best interest. You need to be a really big brain, 250 IQ plus, to understand how attacking the Assad regime, which again is the bulwark against ISIS expansion, in Syria is somehow beneficial to American foreign interests.
Yeah, except that the strike did not degrade the Assad regime in any way whatsoever. And that's, if you read anything from actually that happened on the ground, this had no impact. This was theater. And anybody who doesn't believe it's theater, they either don't know what's happening or they're too stupid to see what's happening. You know, that again, 3 empty buildings, 0 casualties, warned 5 days in advance. If, like, who conducts a war like that? The George W. Bush went into Iraq with 450,000 personnel in a surprise after a decapitation strike, after taking out 70 sites in 7 hours. The idea that this is the beginning of a war, we gave them 5 days notice, we're going to attack 3 facilities. I'm not wild about the strike, but to not understand what was happening there.
But you have to support, you have to show for Trump because you don't have your own independent ideology. Your career has been based around supporting Trump.
That's nice.
And that is the launching pad. And by the way, according to the Russian Defense Ministry, Syria repelled the attack with air defense systems made in the USSR over 30 years ago. So yes, it was Russian missile defense technology.
No. Yeah, it was sold to the Syrians, but it's a big difference whether or not Russian technology was used by the Syrian government or the Russian government.
And operating that, you are sadly
you're a very dumb person if you think it's a trivial difference to say the Syrians did it versus the Russians didn't. If the Russians didn't, it would be a much different situation. And I'm sure everybody, even people who disagree with me, will tell you that. Even people who call me a neocon will tell you it makes a big difference whether Syria or Russia did it.
Right now, there's a lot of that.
Yeah. Well, I know
by the way, over the past 1.5 years, Russia has fully restored the air defense system of Syria and continues to improve it. So Russia is in charge of the expansion and maintenance of the Syrian air defense. This is from the Russian General Staff issuing a statement, quote, "A few years ago, we refused to supply S-300 air defense systems to Syria due to the request of some of our Western partners. Taking into account what happened, we consider it possible to return to this issue, and not only with regard to Syria, but with regard to other states." So this is actually going to lead to Russia selling more weaponry to so-called rogue
I saw that. And that's actually a good thing. That's actually a good thing that they're selling more air defenses to Syria. Because I'm in support of the Assad regime, but I also am in support of the president, even if he does a strike that.
So you're in support of the president attacking the Assad regime, but you're also in support of the Assad regime. It sounds to me, Nick, like you were just afraid to criticize President Trump because you realize that is what your entire brand has been based on.
I criticize the president.
Brand
I criticize the president
on supporting Trump.
This is a great grandstanding. But actually, I criticize the president.
Whether it's immigration, whether it's the tax plan.
You can talk over me as much as you'd like, but for anybody who watches my show, and there it is, more of that. For anybody who watches my show, then more interrupting.
It's only about 4,000 or 5,000 people.
Understand that if anybody looks at the facts, they know it's just simply not true. I criticize the president heavily over the omnibus spending bill. I criticized the president even on my show before I understood the details of the strike. I said, and if you watch my show from when the bombs started falling, I said, if this is a sustained attack, then I'm off the Trump train. I said, this is not looking good. But then I saw the facts, and unlike somebody who's committed to blackpilling, unlike somebody who's committed to doing this low IQ, burning your MAGA hat thing every time Trump says something I don't like, and to go back to the point, I am in favor of the Assad regime consolidating control of Syria. I am also in favor of President Trump demonstrating the credibility of a military threat before our summit with North Korea. You can be in favor of both things at the same time. If President Trump's strike was designed or intended to degrade the Assad regime's capability of waging civil war, I would be against it. If the Trump regime's official policy was regime change in Syria, I would be against it. But that is not at all what was on display over the weekend. And anybody who's familiar with the details of the attack would tell you that. But in this one dimensional world that you live in, where you just get all of your thoughts and your ideas from the right stuff, and there's some fine people over there, but you just get all the memes, the jokes, the thoughts, and everything. These kinds of nuanced 250 IQ takes are simply impossible over there.
Right. Again, and you have this fascination with TRS, which I think is funny because they've been able to build a successful company. I suppose
I'm not criticizing them.
Of it.
I'm not criticizing them. I'm criticizing
you did blame them for the split that took place a few months ago. So
I didn't blame them for the split. I blamed you.
Did, actually.
You want to know why?
You keep coming back to TRS.
Do you want to know why I blamed you and not TRS?
With it.
Would I blame? Yeah, and here's why. Because I listen to TRS podcasts. You know, you'd send them my way every now and again, and it's funny. Everything they were saying sounded so familiar. The jokes, the talking points, it sounded so familiar. And I wondered to myself, you sent them to me a few times. You sent me a few episodes of Fashion Nation and The Daily Show, and I listened to it a few times, and I said, wow, these jokes are funny. They sound so familiar. These talking points sound really familiar. Wonder where I've heard them before. And then I found out every Saturday when you reuse them on the show. And then additionally, I found out, you say, oh, you have this fixation with TRS. No, I find out that when you're not showing up to your show on time, you're not doing your show, you botch the launch of your own podcast, I find out that weekend that you're actually going to co-host for their podcast. So I find out that you're doing your own work for your own private gain. No problem there. You're now going to go work for TRS and substitute.
I was never working for TRS.
Or whatever. Okay, you were going to sub onto one of their shows.
I was going to
for a period of a few months. You said you were going to take over for a period. That is exactly what you said, for a period of a few months.
It was for like 2 shows.
And you couldn't even fulfill your own obligations for the company. So I said, here's a guy who copies everything from this company. He's going to go and take up new obligations for this company. You told me, and don't even lie to me. You said the week before the split, great news on Fashion Nation. Halberstram's going to be traveling, so I'm going to take over for him for a couple of months. I don't remember if it was 3 or was 6, but you said you were going to take over for a few months.
No, I did not say that. It was a few shows.
It was not a few shows.
You know that it was a few shows. By the way, Nick, if you, again, as a smart businessman, you would think that getting free advertising for your program would be advantageous, right? When you're in a sector with somebody, you're in the same market.
Yeah,
and
can't sell the product. Can't sell the product.
Hold on, let me finish, Nick. Let me finish.
You cannot market the product on the right stuff.
You're freaking out about being talked over. You're freaking out about
the product. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Calm down.
Go ahead. Let's hear it.
When you're in a business market, right? Let's say Coke, right? Let's say Pepsi offers to put Coke products in front of all the Pepsi vendors for 3 weeks. Okay, the Coke will obviously take them up on that offer because that is good free advertising. So when a show like Fashion Nation, which by the way has a circulation several times bigger than yours, and it's several times bigger than some of my videos too. They get a lot of listens.
Yeah,
they definitely get more. Oh, you just said you didn't listen to them though. So
yeah,
you like them?
I like them personally. Yeah, I had McFeels on my show for election coverage. I like them. I don't listen to podcasts, which you know, but I know you rely on these kind of silly cheap debate tactics because you're getting killed. But go ahead.
So you don't listen to podcasts, but you were listening to enough podcasts to know that I was apparently stealing.
Yeah, because you fanboy and you send
either you do listen
have to check out this podcast to hear where I get my thoughts from. Yeah, we see the cheap tactics. But go ahead, finish the point.
No, we see that you are being disingenuous about whether or not you listen to podcasts. But anyways,
there it is. Okay.
So I go and I say, okay, I'll do a couple shows for you guys, right? And in each one of those shows, I will advertise like I had done before in the past when I guest hosted FTN. I will advertise our show. I'll advertise our company. I will be putting our product in front of tens of thousands of new people to watch and listen to it. And I don't know, maybe you're upset that I got invited and you didn't. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here.
That's funny.
But then you freaked out about it. And you were not. You were very, very perturbed by the fact that I would be going over and filling in. And by the way, we rescheduled the recording of that show so it would fit with our schedule. We recorded we had been recording Nationalist Review on Saturdays. We agreed to do FTN on Friday nights, so there wouldn't be a conflict. So it was all worked out. It was all going to be fine. There was going to be no conflict.
But do you understand the why I was? You say, oh, I think you were perturbed by that. I think the broader point for why I was perturbed that you had demonstrated a record where you showed your own shows. You couldn't get your shit together to show up on time for the Nationalist Review podcast. You
Nick,
bought
I was
your.
You keep
excuse
saying
me.
that. I was late for a few shows.
Excuse me.
The same number as you were late to.
Excuse me. I'll let you finish. And so you botched the launch of your show. You couldn't wake up on time. So you said, well, I'll just launch it on Tuesday. And so you can't get your stuff together for the company podcast, which, by the way, I was 100% invested in. I didn't have my own.
You were playing
channel.
Minecraft.
Excuse me.
You played Minecraft recorded our shows. Don't act like you were 100% invested.
Excuse me. See, and this is, you rely on interrupting because when the facts come out,
oh boy,
trouble.
That's rich.
So excuse me. I was invested in the company 100%.
Right now too.
I was invested in the company 100%. Every show I made, all the content I made was for America First Media. And as a result of that, all the money that was raised went into the company, of which I never saw a dime. I made 100? I made 100 episodes for the company, never saw a dime of the money. You, on the other hand, did not make you barely made any content for the company, and it was clear that was your last priority. Meanwhile, you were steadily making content for your own personal gain on your channel. And then you come to tell me in the midst of this dispute, I think that episode that you came on and told me that you were like an hour late. You said, oh, hey, great news. I'm going to be on Fash the Nation for a few weeks. I'm filling in for an extended period of time. And isn't that so great? And I understand. Believe me, I do. I understand the marketing angle. But here's the thing.
So now it's a few weeks, right? So now it's a few weeks, not a few months.
If you don't make a product, it doesn't matter what the marketing is. You can market it all you want, but if you don't make a consistent product, it doesn't matter. And the whole time, by the way, the conversations we were having behind the scenes about money was just disgraceful. The way that the whole time we were trying to devise our paywall, which I don't think you've put the paywall up. We were talking about that in January. Still don't think that's up, but maybe that's another testament to your great work ethic. But you said, we're going to put up the paywall, and you wanted to charge people $10 a month. Mm-hmm. And you wanted to just take existing content and put it behind the paywall. You wanted to take all these goofy features and be like, how can we milk our subscribers out of more money? Well, we'll throw them the mailbag and we'll do this and that. And I kept saying, how about we focus on making content first? How about we focus on making good content and then make better content for paywall members? We'll make something that's good, and then we sell that. And then we figure out how to monetize it. But you the whole time, and this just goes to show your mentality on everything, which was, it's marketing. We got to do the website. We got to do merch. We got to do the paywall. But you never cared about content. Content is king.
And here we go. This is actually very good. I agree with some of what you're saying here. When you're in a business partnership, people focus on different things, right? When you're in a business partnership, people can focus on their strengths, which can then allow the business as a whole, as a collective, to prosper. That's what doing business in a partnership is. So yeah, I was the one who was doing everything on the website. I was
you changed the banner. You changed the fucking banner for the website.
No, I set up how all the pages worked. I actually hired the writers. I brought in the writing team to write articles for the website. I was doing all that stuff. I was the one who coordinated all the merchandise.
We had like 3 articles before the split, but yeah, no, that was big. No, the merchandise was really a grand fucking slam. I have to say, you take credit for the merchandise. You take credit for the merchandise. And I have to say, when you ordered the Made in China mugs for America First Media, I knew you were a winner. When I got my box full of 5 mugs and they were completely destroyed because you didn't put in any fucking packing material, I said, this is the mark of a confident and a neuronormative person. This is the mark of somebody whose brain is functioning. You put 5, James, you put 5 mugs in a big box with no packing material, and
that's not true. That's not true. There was packing material.
Yeah, you wrapped them in bubble wrap, but they were loose. They were moving around.
Okay, look, and I made a mistake. And
packing paper. But the things you take credit for were all terrible. The merch.
We had a couple incidents with we had a less
in China.
Oh my god!
With the website,
had less than 1% failure rate on the merch. Okay, we had a less than 1% breakage rate on the merch for all the orders we shipped out that I hand packed, hand shipped. We had a less than 1% rate of issue with that. And I'll admit, there was an issue with that package I sent you. Yeah. But I think we only had one other person out of the
there's more than
orders or so really that had an issue with that.
I got a lot of emails.
I was the one who went.
No,
you didn't. No, you didn't. You're making it up. That's not true.
100%.
Okay. So I would. Yeah. Again, if that's true, then provide evidence, because we were coordinating that through Matt. Matt and I were taking care of that. But I was the one who went and set up the merchandise account. I forget which client we used for that, who was buying all the boxes. I was going to Walmart buying the boxes in bulk, and we were doing the packing in my living room, actually, of the house, packing out all the merch, shipping it out, doing all the printing. Yeah, the labels and everything. And that's a significant time commitment. But I was willing to make that sacrifice for the good of the company. All that money was going back to the company.
Sacrifice.
It's a time
what do you call it? What do you call it when I
was doing 18 credit hours in school, coming home, doing a show,
the excuses,
then making a video.
I don't want to hear about the credit hours. I don't want to hear
sacrifice.
about the excuses. No. It's not a sacrifice. It's called doing your job. That you would even reference doing your job as a sacrifice is a joke. You want to know what sacrifice? I did my show.
Oh, here you go. Your 1 hour a day was the big sacrifice. No, look.
I did my show every day on time. And by the way, I did it every day and on
context
time.
Now, Nick. Again, you want to talk about context now.
And for no money. And I still have no money.
Yeah, I didn't make a dime from that.
And you throughout the company, this is another rich thing that I thought you did. Throughout the company, you wanted the company basically to revolve around your personal life. When we said, where are we going to start up a studio for the company? You said we should do it in wherever, because that's where my girlfriend lives. We should live it here because that's where it's close to my girlfriend and it's close to Richard Spencer.
That's not true.
And I can sleep on Richard Spencer's couch.
That is not true.
Or we should do it in Washington State because I want to live in.
That is not true.
No, please give me a break.
I said Virginia.
Give me a break. Yeah, you said Virginia because it's close to where your girlfriend lives, and because I can sleep on Richard Spencer's couch. And then eventually you said, actually, Washington, because I would like to live here. I would like to live here. And then not only that, but in another way you did it, because initially the way it was going to work was we were going to have the money for the company, and it was like we weren't expecting to turn a profit not expecting to turn a profit. We weren't expecting to take any money for ourselves for a while. And this was talked about in August. When we all got on that group call, we said, it's going to take some time to build up a supporter base and build up capital. So we probably shouldn't expect to make any kind of money in the first 3 or 4 or 5 months. And you, throughout the fall, kept saying can we make it so that we do get salary? Can we make it so that we do get to take a little bit every month? Because I got to pay rent. So can we restructure the way the payments work for
when you don't live in a basement, you got to pay bills, Nick. When you don't live in a basement, you got to pay bills.
Yeah. Point being, throughout the company, you basically expected it to revolve around you. We're going to start when you wake up. We're going to work the schedule around your travel schedule and your credit hours. We're going to move the studio where you want to live. We're going to structure the financial system based on that you need to pay rent. Fucking figure it out, dude.
Do you realize that I don't live in Virginia? I live in Washington State, which is the furthest state away from Virginia.
Tell me that you didn't want to move to Virginia because it was closer to a girlfriend. Can you tell me that, or do I have the? Okay, actually, you know what? Actually, because you got yourself banned on Twitter, so many of the messages don't even exist anymore. So that's another great decision making thing from James Allsup, where you go full 1488 on Elliot Hamilton. And get yourself banned from Twitter.
Yeah. Brag about how I was banned by Twitter, and that's somehow indicative of a failure of me, Nick. That I actually fought against the people that we're trying to fight against, and I received punishment for it.
A real hero, and look what the end result was. Now you make a real splash on Gab. The point is, we demonstrate
on YouTube,
demonstrate a clear pattern of bad decision making on your part. I mean, that's what I seek to do here. Call me an asshole, yeah, fair enough. Sure, people call me that all the time. It's true. I'm abrasive. I'm Italian. It's part of my nature. I'm very combative. I don't deny this.
Mexican,
yeah, also Mexican. Yeah, and you want to bring out the chopsticks too? We're going to talk about ethnic.
We want to compare 23andMe's. We could go there, bud.
Sure, let's do it. Hoppa Downey. But anyway, the point
you're 79
being,
and I'm 86. We don't need to get into that, but
whiter than you, Muhammad. And anyway, we can break down that we have a clear pattern of just bad decisions, whether you want the company to revolve around you, you don't show up on time, you don't do your show, and even afterwards, you just fuck around and you don't produce any content for the company. The James Allsup show podcast page is drier than whatever. It's there's no content being produced there.
Bud. You know what's not dry?
Yeah, which is not for
32K, 74K, 24K, 114K, 71K.
Yeah, no, the SJW business is a booming, but for your company,
getting a week, Nick.
Yeah, but for your company, which you signed up for, which you said, I am going to commit to this, you did not. I'm happy for you that you're having success becoming an anti-SJW YouTuber like Paul Joseph Watson. Congratulations.
You don't watch the content.
Congratulations. But
if you're too dumb,
made a commitment, but you made a commitment to your
company. That's not on me.
You made a commitment, you fail in your commitment, and then there's just all these bad decisions. Cantwell, Mosley, and just all this other goofy stuff. And it's a travesty. So,
you can have your opinion, Nick, but my 235,000 subscribers can have theirs. And there's 57,000 people in a day who watch my videos. my new video today.
I saw some of those
20,000
subscribers
a day.
at your. I saw some of those subscribers that met you in Washington for your little meetup. I have to say, when James Allsup subscribers are sending their people, they're not sending their best. They should check out the "Stop Being Fat" part of your Discord. My 230,000 Discord, people, whatever. Yeah, and it's a real great lot. You had to change your live stream title, because you wanted to go full fash with Mike Enoch on the Serious Strikes. You wanted to go full Drumpf BTFO. And I think the title was something like Drumpf BTFO, and you had to change it.
You're lying. I said, is it over for Trump?
And you had to change it because your MAGA-peed followers were
what
like,
I did
no,
this is so stupid. This is
Jimmy's
so
off
stupid,
the Trump train now.
No, that's not at all what happened. What I did is when Mike came on, I changed it to say featuring Mike Enoch to reflect what was going on with the show.
All of my subscribers are thin. I've never seen a fat person watching America First.
I've never seen a person who didn't look like a prison camp survivor starring in your show, Nick. Gain some weight. Gain some weight before you start talking about physique.
It's that I'm skinny.
Gain some weight before talking about physiques.
No, you're right. You're right. You do have a superior physique. I will say. You were a little chunky for a while. You got back on it. I will say. I would watch the beard, though. We're starting to see it in the face. We're starting to see it in the eyes. The drunk live streams. I have to say, that's the one thing that's holding you back from the peak of your physical prowess is the drinking. But you know me.
At least I am old enough to drink. Is a thing there. And yeah, sometimes
you're hitting me because of my age now.
Well, sometimes we go out and have a couple drinks. Nothing wrong with that among friends. And I'm thankful that I have a good group of IRL friends, whether I'm in Seattle or Pullman or Spokane or wherever I am, to go out and have some fun.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great.
I'll beat your ass, you dirty fucking chink.
I'm sure you would, Matt. What are you, 5'4"?
Yeah, and I'll beat your ass.
Come after me. I'm
coming.
I want 110 pounds.
I
want him to kill everybody. I want him to kill all of the content creators so that he could have sole domination and just not produce any content. That would be, I think that's the future we can look forward to.
No, look, Nick, here's the thing. You clearly have a deep-seated and visceral issue here. Okay, I don't hold anything against you. I think what you did, accusing me of being involved in your sister's doxing, was fucking despicable. I think you realize it was despicable what you did. But I'm not gonna let that determine how I operate the rest of my life, how I continue on my career doing this. Okay,
you say it's despicable. You have to feign outrage. You have to feign outrage because
it is.
You know that you're full of shit.
I've never doxed anybody, and for you to accuse me of being part of this is sick. Okay, doxing him and his buddies, right? Okay, I mean you can dance around it all you like. People can find it. Africa. Here's the thing. I don't see any benefit in continuing to fight with you, and continuing to keep up this beef, and continuing to take shots. There's nothing in it for either of us. Who there is a benefit for, who does stand to benefit, is AWM, it's Haaretz, it's Forward, it's all of these other magazines that would love nothing more than to see people who are on the identitarian right, the nationalist right, whatever you want to call it, tear each other apart. So I am fully prepared at this moment. Set the lawsuit stuff aside because that has to continue. That's amazing.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
All right. Okay. Finish your point, and then we'll.
Yeah, I'm fully prepared to what is it? A détente? I'm forgetting the French military word for it.
Sure. Yeah. Détente.
To set things aside and to move forward and not continue any sort of public sparring like this.
Yeah, no.
Because neither of us stand to benefit from it. It's not good for anybody involved, not good for anybody politically. And I think that if we're going to move forward as rational individual adults doing our own thing with our own
we should act like
our own business models,
each other's families. Yeah,
I think. Well, Matt, no, I think it's just. I think it's really rich.
You want to do podcasts? You want to do live
shows? Each other's families. Let's get all legit.
Matt, hold on. We're trying to.
James is trying to. He's trying to get points as the adult in the room because he just got crushed.
No, I'm trying to say that Nick, I don't want to keep fighting with you.
You're a phony.
You're
a phony. What you're telling me right now is, hey Nick, the minute I can stop defending my theft of your company and your goods with lawyers, can we be cool because it's hurting me? I mean,
this is not hurting me. Not hurting me at all.
Let's have a détente. Let's ignore the fact that you basically worked for free for the company for months.
So did I. I didn't make any money either.
Yeah. Tell me, who has the passwords? Who has the passwords to the bank account or the PayPal? Fucking tell me that. So you're gonna tell me, we're basically gonna hold the money and Christmas gifts from your followers.
Oh, your Christmas gifts. Oh no.
We're gonna hold all this stuff hostage, and also we're gonna try to coerce you to stop using your logo. But outside of that, we have to put this aside. You could put it aside tomorrow. You could put, and here's the best thing. You want to say, I'm the adult in the room. This is hurting the movement. Put your money where your mouth is and make good on the deal you made to buy out my equity in January. Until you do that, you're full of shit.
I never made that deal. You're inventing a deal that I never.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Matt did. Matt, the controlling, you two together, the controlling stake in the company. Yeah, you made that deal. So you can stand there and say, I'm the adult in the room. I just want to do what's best for the movement. Yeah. Then give me what's rightfully mine, what you offer.
Give me. Yeah, give me.
Give me the money that I raised for my show for the company I thought I was a part of until I was forced out. Yeah, I know I'm really asking a lot there. I raised what, $5,000, and you're going to give me some paltry buyout? At least give me what I'm entitled to, which is the Christmas gift one of my followers sent me, which you're hoarding in your house with, I'm sure, a bunch of booze bottles. I'm the adult in the room. I want to put it aside.
I don't know what you're doing.
The movement. Put your money where your mouth is. You could end it you could end it literally tomorrow if you made good on the deal that you made in January.
Again,
I'm sorry.
That's not a deal that I made.
I'm sorry.
Again,
the deal,
Nick, you keep inventing a deal that I made.
The deal that Matt made on your and his behalf. Are you happy? Is that better?
No offer was made on my behalf, Nick. You're inventing an offer that was never made. And look, you want to keep it up.
An offer that was never made? Yeah. Let me open. Do you want to do this? Do you want to? Okay. Yeah. See,
an offer I never made.
How quickly we flip flop when we.
Because that's the actual truth. You're accusing me of making an offer.
I've been found out, says James. Also,
you're accusing me of making an offer that I never made. So I think it's going to be a little less disingenuous there.
Matt made the offer on behalf of. I know he takes care of the business things. I know he's like your caretaker. And he changes your diapers, and he makes sure that when you're drooling,
who brings you the tendies in your basement, Nick? Who brings you the tendies in the basement that you live in?
Actually, living with your parents is very trad. You know what's not trad? Sleeping with dozens of women and then counter signaling people who want to save themselves until marriage. I mean, you want to say, I'm trad. I patrol thoughts. I believe in traditional living, and and it's no secret either that you're the biggest fucking degenerate. One of them in the movements, and it's hilarious. And on the Discord, you were on the Discord the night of the split. You're like, Nick is a virgin, and it's like you almost forgot that you run a traditionalist, nationalist, right-wing media company. And then you're like, never mind. It's actually I'm not a hedonistic sexual degenerate. I was just making a joke.
Nationalism, yeah. That's what we're doing. We're doing incel Castillo nationalism.
I'm the Chad virgin. Hanging out with mom and dad, and you're out there.
That's excellent.
There being a degenerate, and
I'm out there. Oh man, yes.
It's true, but it's true. Think of it. Laugh it up. But
having a job, being a college graduate, owning
you have a job
property.
Since when?
Yeah, this is my job, Nick.
This is my job.
Making very good money doing it. I'm very thankful for what I'm able to do.
Merchant man. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Having an income to be able to pay for a wife.
I know that's degenerate. I know that's what a lot of your apologists were saying. What was that company? Let me pull it up right now so we can. It's line in your pockets. It's Trade Genius Academy.
Yeah, fuck everybody who makes money, right? Everybody who makes money is degenerate.
50% off of Trade Genius Academy, and but it's not. It goes beyond. Like, people do this was the thing that really blew me away. It's like, it's almost like you like me in terms of Knicker Nation, in terms of my fan base. You're probably the one that does the most for me in this feud, because you just make mistake after mistake. People have advertisements, people do like 30-second ad reads, but you dedicated like a whole video to trying to sell people something. And it wasn't even one thing when you do your VPN thing, which I understand, like, that's a great product, but you did it for a scam where it's like you pay $2,000 for some fat schmuck to tell you to like buy Bitcoin. Yeah. I think you buy this $2,000 package using the code Allsup to get 4 hours of personal one-on-one coaching with that real winner. what's his name?
Yeah, with people who make a lot of money trading cryptocurrency, Nick. I mean, look.
Epic.
So let's again take stock at what you're mad at me for. You're mad at me for living on my own. You're mad at me for being a college graduate. You're mad at me for having had sex with in your words, dozens of women, and you're mad at me for having sponsors for my content.
I'm not mad at you, James.
I
think you're a hypocrite.
I don't know what to say.
For tut-tutting traditionalism, and meanwhile you believe in white Shinto because you want to trace your roots back to your ancestors. Because maybe they think they'll let you in if you call it white Shinto and you get to eat sushi with chopsticks. I mean, you're just a hypocrite. You don't believe in anything that you say. You say you're a traditionalist, but then you don't actually.
I don't use that label. I use the label nationalist. I say I'm a nationalist and an identitarian. And
can I just interject here?
Nick, I will fully admit yes, I've had sex with dozens of beautiful women, and I'm not going to apologize for it.
Beautiful,
James. I kind of just want to bring up the fact that like memeing on each other, that's one thing, but like what you brought up, where you said that like. My mom found out about like me going to just Charlottesville and how she disavowed me and how my family hates me or whatever, like whatever it is you said, like, why would you like drag, any of this shit like down to that level?
Matt, you made very serious allegations about me regarding doxing.
What were they exactly?
I can pull up your tweet again if you want to be pedantic about it, but you know what you said.
Whatever I said, like you bring my family into this, like what's up with that, dude? Like it's so wrong.
I wasn't attacking your family. Nobody was like talking about who your family is or talking about
you're using like leftist talking points, and you're like making up allegations that I dox people when that's not true.
I never made up allegations you dox people. The claim from the beginning.
But
was
like, how can you defend the fact that you like talk shit about my family in that situation? Like we were
again, you're redirecting here, Matt. Let's address the doxing thing first of all. Okay, let's address the doxing thing first.
All right, we'll try to justify that. Yeah,
I can read you the DMs. You want to read the DMs off? Did you block me on Discord?
No, my last account got banned because you and your faggot meme relay friend banned my last account and took down the World Politics server.
I control Discord and ban World Politics now. Yeah, I was the mastermind behind that. I'm in there at Discord.
No, it's you and your friend meme relay. It's so low that you would bring family into something like this.
We're the ones who pull the levers at Discord company, Matt. Check on that.
I mean, you can avoid the question altogether, but it's just super low that you would bring the conversation down to that level. How can you justify that? How can you justify that?
You keep saying that over and over, man. So here's the screenshot that I have from your conversation, where you said, "I don't know what else to say. It would maybe be best if you not deal with me or Inner Heaven anymore." Meme Relay says, "Yeah, if your loyalties lie with someone who has doxed me and is unbanning a bunch of doxers, I'd say that's a good idea." And then you say, "Whatever, dude. Merry Easter. I'm just trying to keep the peace with everyone." And the context of this is, of course, after Meme Relay was doxed in your server, and then he messaged you.
He doxed himself. Dude, he doxed himself.
No, that's not what happened.
Yes, it is.
Somebody else posted his Facebook.
I've known Meme Relay for like a year and a half now. You've known him for like 4 months.
No, somebody else posted his Facebook pic. He did not want it up.
Somebody else. Why? Not me.
Somebody. Right. And then you're the admin of the server. He goes to you to talk about it. And you say, "Oh, I'm not going to do anything about it." Matt, face it. You allowed people to face dox other users in your server who did nothing to deserve it. And you did nothing about it.
Dude, I was on a live stream and all that shit was going down. Like, I'm not the top person in charge.
You were DMing back and forth with him. Currently, obviously, you were watching what was going on. Obviously,
so, like, for what somebody else did, that gives you precedent to talk shit about my family.
That's not what I said. But what you said about me, and again, I can find the tweet.
You have no argument to justify something like that.
Keep saying that, Matt. I'll find the tweet you put out about me, where you said that I was a mentally challenged Barbie doll. You said I was a mentally challenged
Barbie. It's so low. Like, why would you drag it down that low? What the fuck's wrong with you?
Why would you drag it down that low first, Matt?
What are you talking about?
You said someone with Asperger's. Okay, you're attacking.
Yeah, you fucking have Asperger's. I'm not lying. Where's the lie?
I don't.
Yeah, you and Meme Relay both have.
I don't actually.
Yes, you do.
Fellas, remember to take it back, to harken back. Remember in Charlottesville, we were all together. James was with Matt. I was with Steve. We were all there. Baked Alaska was there. We were all together. We were there to protest the destruction of our cultural and white heritage in Lee Park. and we ended up in McIntyre Park, and we went back to my and Steve was actually Steve's hotel room, but we hung out there and we watched on the television, as Trump said, there were fine people on both sides, and we cheered and we supported Baked Alaska when his eyes were hurting, and we supported Millennial Matt when he was doxxed. We were all hanging out, and I think what we see is Millennial Matt and I have fought. Like, we fought during the Trad Thought thing. We fought on, what was it, the Weekly Sweat. We fought on my show. And it got pretty intense. Yeah. But then we said, you know what? We're homies. We're friends at the end of the day. And look, me and you, James, we fought in January. And I never anticipated that it would have turned into you and Matt trying to force me out, like, because I didn't take a phone call. I think at the end of the day, we have to acknowledge that, like, I think there is fault to be laid at the feet of everybody involved. We can disagree as to, well, you did it more. You're the real culprit. You're in the wrong. I was a jerk. There were some issues with you not doing so much of the work. You know, Matt, I don't know what's going on between you and Matt, but in the incidents in January, in response to this beef over something which was, in retrospect, retarded, was minuscule. You changed the title on a video, big deal, or whatever, the computer conversation, whatever. But that you would take it and then say, okay, well, now we're going to turn it into, you're out of the company, and we're going to publicly announce it before anything is resolved, and it's going to turn into this contentious thing. Or with Matt, where you have beef, and you're going to turn it into, oh, yeah, well, Matt, did you get fired from your mom's credit card company, and fucking you can't hold the job? Like, there's just no reason it ever has to go there. I've banned Spencer, Enoch, like all kinds of people very hard, even Red Elephants. I said some real nasty things about Red Elephants. And at the end of the day, he said, you know what? This is stupid. We should just be friends. And we're done. Spencer, I encountered him in Alexandria, Virginia, like literally on the street. And he said some terrible, nasty things to me. I accused him of something pretty nasty. And we were like, this is goofy. For the good of the movement, let's move on from this. Enoch DM'd me. He's like, yeah, it's better if we work together. I agree. But you, in two of these cases, you had to make it like, we can't just fix this. You're out of the company. Fuck you. And now we're going to take that shit. That is not get lawyers involved. And with Matt, you said something about me. Fuck you. You got fired from your mom's credit card company. I don't know if it's this karate. Is this kamikaze behavior? Is this Karate Kid behavior? I don't know what it is. Karate Kid throw ninja stars at us. You want to hit us with katanas. I don't know what it is, but it's something.
Yeah, Nick, I better watch out, man. If I come over to Chicago, you're liable to carve my heart out. And
it's true. And present it to that's true. Present it to the sun gods. And roll your head down a pyramid.
It's true. James, I will beat your ass.
Matt, I would love to see you try. In fact, I think we should do that on a live.
I would pop you like a pimple.
Matt, let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. Well, no karate, Mr. China.
Let's do it. Let's do a gang fight. It'll be me, Millennial Matt, and who else? Who else is on team Nick and Faith Goldie? No, I don't want to make her choose. I think she likes both. And it'll be James and Millennial Woes. We have Spencer on our side. He's tall.
By the way, how does my audio sound right now? Is it?
You sound good. You sound silky smooth, okay. Ralph. What kind of mic is that, Ralph?
That is a Rode.
Turn your bass up, man. Turn your bass up.
NT1A. NT1A.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Ooh, not dynamic. What is that? Is that a condenser? That's a condenser.
Condenser, yes, I believe so. I've been told, and I tried to turn it on for a second. Apparently, Baked Alaska is being destroyed by Mr. Medicare live on his own stream right now.
We can just end it here. I don't need the last word. Nick, you can get the last word, and I am looking forward to whatever.
Let me. How about this? Let me go full Jew here and read some super chats real quick, and then you guys can respond to that, and then we'll watch Bait get destroyed. Let's see. Let me see where I left off. James, big guy, rethink this. Toad McKinley says Ralph is a white Negro but nice stream. Vedger said, James, you can recover, but bust out the awkwardly appropriated TRS memes. Problematic White Knight said, be patient, Nick. The things that belong to you that I took will eventually come to you. Vedger said, Downs nationalism now. Henlo Friend said, Nick, James, and Matt could do great things together for the movement. Just make up already. Shit happens. God Soldiers said, this is big gay. Bearded Truth said, what do you faggots actually disagree on? Drama Alert, who is Keemstar, said, I will judge. Ray Palmer said, Nick blocked me on Twitter last night for calling his show Israel First. I'm writing an article on his downward spiral on Hunter Wallace's website. Problematic white knight. Hey, look, I'm just reading him. I doesn't whatever.
I know.
Problematic white knight said, come on, Nick, personal attacks are lame. That's why James goes after people's families. Sinatra says lawyer with the echo parentheses. Vedger says this is what an addiction to black pills looks like. Down Forward Punch says neocons and neoliberals have destroyed the Middle East and created ISIS as a result of our intervention. We need to get out ASAP. Drama Alert again said Nick was doing well, but now he's wrong. Wardedly said ban circumcision. Squall 13 said Nick knifing people is fine if the opponent is combative, but if it's a civil discussion, he just looks like an immature faggot. Wardedly again said press F for Boogie, may he rest in peace.
Oh yeah, by the way, we heard Boogie died. Boogie 298.
Yeah, he's dead, man. Rest in peace, Boogie. We're gonna do the memorial stream on Monday night.
Is he really?
No.
No, he's gone, guys. Don't joke about it.
Sorry, Boogie. Hey man, nice shot said, who orders 5 of the same mug? Midrid Emery said, Jesus fucking Christ, can these two just make the fuck up already? It's so cringy when exes fight in public about their relationship. And then Problematic White Knight said, going after me equals I can go after your family. James Allsup 2018. So that's in the super chats. I'll let you guys get in, whatever you want to say to finish off.
Yeah, no, I'm anxious to get to the Baked versus Jim versus Aaron thing. So I think we pretty much each laid out where we stand on this. Who just dropped out? Okay, the important people are still here, the essential people.
Yes.
Excuse me. No, I think we've each said our piece. And Nick, I would, wish you all the best going forward with your content. I think your show, you're on an upward trajectory with your viewership numbers, and if I recall, so that's obviously great. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep killing it in blood sports debates. I think you have a great track record in the debates with Halsey. I think was great. I think the AIU, from what I saw, was fantastic, and keep it up. I think you're a valuable asset. We may disagree with some things from time to time, and that's all part of being two, I think, hot-headed political commentators. So, I wish you the best going forward. Keep doing your show. And I'm going to keep doing my show. I'm going to keep doing my National Street podcast. We're taping tomorrow. It'll be out should be out on Sunday afternoon. And I will have some more videos coming out this week. I'm beginning a new series of videos that I'm looking forward to this next coming week. So let's just all keep doing what we're best at. Keep on our strengths and keep making good content. Because that is, as you said, Nick, content is key, right?
Content is king.
Content is king. Absolutely. Well, no,
and James,
and yes, go ahead.
Briefly, this has been very cathartic. We needed something like this. I think. Yeah. I think it would have been helpful if we had it out like this in January. I do not hate you. I'm not sitting here thinking like, oh, this guy. I think we have a lot more in common than we have not in common. And look. I think if we look at what's happening with the lawyers, once that is settled, and it is really at the end of the day, I do not want to fight you. I never wanted it to get ugly like this. I don't have a bone. You say I have a visceral feeling. I really don't have a bone to pick with you. I see what you're doing these days, and I watched your speech at Identity Europa. It was a good speech, okay? But the problem is we have to rectify those details. When it comes down to business and that kind of thing, and all of that, the ball is in your court with that. And I would say I am open to a détente. We probably wouldn't work together. We probably wouldn't have a company together. But it doesn't have to be like this. And the ball's in your court on that. So I agree on everything you just said. This has been, I think, a productive, ironically, it got ugly. We're throwing shit around, but it's been productive. And we can still move in a positive direction, but it's up to you.
Well, hey, tell you what, next time there's an election or something going on and there's a live stream, maybe we could work something out. I know you did the stream with Jazz Hands for the Pennsylvania special election. I know we had previously done the stream with Jazz for the Roy Moore thing. I don't know. We'll see. I got a little bit more technology here in the OBS, and I think it's all about combining talents, combining assets. We'll work something out, man. We'll do something in the future. I'm sure.
It'd be big ratings. It'd be big ratings, but
it would.
But we have to get the business sorted out. The ball's in it. If that's not sorted out, we can't collaborate in the future, only because that has to be made right. I think there's an acknowledgement on both sides that has to be made right.
And that's and that's I don't think that's necessarily like a as principled an objection. I think that really comes down to logistics and logistics of how that ends up looking. So
sure.
Cool. Man.
All right, before both of you guys leave, I have a question for you. How pissed off do you think your lawyers are right now?
Not happy. Not happy.
This cannot be good for that.
Well, I think we both kind of played ourselves here, Nick, because now we're going to be paying by the hour to have them listen to this shit show stream. God damn it!
They can listen to the entire thing. That'd be great.
Yes, add more views. They'll always be good. It'll still be up. Unless Baked sends his goons to have it taken down like he tried to do the Discord. But yeah, thank you guys for coming on. We just kind of